Dear MIT, my name is Chandra, and for my admissions essay, I'm going to tell you all about why I'm going to make an amazing software engineer. As Chief Technology Officer at my home, I am skilled at implementing numerous enhancements to improve overall user experience. Like yesterday, when my grandma's Wi-Fi stopped working, I turned the modem off and on, and then it worked. Furthermore, I'm comfortable using techie jargon in everyday life.
Hey Chandra, did you complete the script that we were talking about?
Error 404, page not found. My love languages include C++, JavaScript, and Python. And I can do full stack web development, as you can see by the full stack of colored coordinated Gucci in my closet. I'm an expert in graphic design and UI UX, as I have vast experience in choosing the right order of my Instagram posts. This is why I hope you'll vote for me to join MIT's class of 2027. Hello, and welcome back to your friendly neighborhood college counselor, here to simplify college admissions for you. If you're watching this video, you probably know that one major component of your college applications is the college essay. Now, you've heard lore of this dreaded personal essay, the one piece of writing that's meant to convey all the best parts of you, how you're emotionally resilient, but also vulnerable, intellectually brilliant, but also still learning. You've surmounted innumerable obstacles, but you're still humble. That's a lot of pressure on 650 words, right? It can be scary to try and come up with an essay topic that encompasses the complexity and vastness of who you are as a person while still staying in the word count. To better understand what these college essays look like and what they're supposed to be about, you have to first understand why they exist in the first place and how they exist in relation to the rest of your application. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to get all the tips you'll need to write winning college essays, and stick around till the end to read an excerpt from a stellar example of a successful college essay that got into University of Chicago. So, why do colleges even ask for college essays? It would be so much easier to evaluate students based on their test scores and their transcripts. According to one Emory University admissions officer, they said that testing and transcripts were actually not a perfect picture of who the student is. The essay is a great example of how kids can represent themselves in so many ways, and it doesn't require expensive test prep centers or going to Andover. Anyone can just be who they are in the essay. But here are the 5 biggest things everyone gets wrong about the college essay. Number 1. Thinking it either has to be super emotional or super resume-like. Everyone gets the essay wrong in the sense that they either focus too much on bloodletting all their trauma onto the essay with no clear upswing or optimistic takeaway. Or, on the other end of the spectrum, they simply regurgitate the list of accomplishments and resume. You need to understand that this essay is doing both at the same time. You want to strike the right balance between warmth and competence. That is, still being vulnerable while also subtly humble bragging about how amazing you are. Number 2, thinking it has to be the classic 5-paragraph essay, like the one you write in English class. Far from it. There is no formula to the structure of a perfect college essay. What does make the two similar is that in both, you're essentially building an argument or a case with examples and evidence answering the question, why should I accept you to my college? At the same time, you're free to reject the standard essay format. Perhaps you write the essay from the perspective of a robot you built, or perhaps you write it in the form of a song, even a research paper. But here's a hot tip. Think about how you can reject or sidestep certain stereotypes about other applicants similar to yourself. For example, if I'm a typical STEM CS applicant, maybe I can showcase my funny side, or how I also love to write poetry. Maybe my topic needs to be in a different direction that's not about my major or my capstone project at all. I might just talk to the reader directly in a stream of consciousness, and just tell them how I think and feel. Number 3, thinking the style of writing must be strictly formal and academic. Feel free to take risks in your style. Use humor, be self-deprecating or conversational. Number 4, thinking the essay exists in a vacuum. If the rest of your application is like the human body, your personal essay is the heart. It exists, yes, but it exists in relation to your grades, your letters of recommendation, your activity list, and all the rest of your application. If the rest of the application or your profile is the what, the essay is your why. Number 5, thinking the essay is not important at all or thinking it's super important. Admissions officers weigh personal character as one of the fundamental evaluation metrics for your admission. The majority of personal qualities do shine through in the essays. Therefore, essays certainly hold weight. However, as we learned in our video on how AOs score your application, they are also rating you on your academics, your extracurriculars, your success in athletics, often in equal measure. Give the essay its due course, but also ensure that each of the other components is also the most authentic representation of your abilities. Now, let's get into an essay sample of a student who got into the University of Chicago, Allison Hess. I always assumed my father wished I had been born a boy. Now, please don't assume that my father is some rampant rural sexist. The fact is, when you live in an area and have a career where success is largely determined by your ability to provide and maintain nearly insurmountable feats of physical labor, you typically prefer a person with a bigger frame. When I was younger, I liked green tractors better than red tractors because that was what my father drove. And I preferred black cows and white cows over brown ones because those were the kind he raised. I wore coveralls in the winter and wore holes in the mud boots in weeks. With my still fragile masculinity, I crossed my arms over my chest when I talked to new people, and I filled my toy box exclusively with miniature farm implements. In 3rd grade, I cut my hair very short, and my father smiled and rubbed my head. I never strove to roll smoother pie crusts or iron exquisitely stiff collars. Instead, I idolized my father's patient hands, on a cow's neck, trying to find the right vein to stick a needle in the strength of the grip it took to hold down an injured heifer, in the finesse with which they habitually spun the steering wheel as he backed up to the livestock's trailer. And I grew to do those things myself. When on my 10th birthday I received my first show cow, a rite of passage in the Hess family, I named her Missy. As I spoke to her in an unnaturally low voice, I failed to realize one thing. Missy did not care that I was a girl. She did not think I was acting especially boyish or notice when I adamantly refused to wear pink clothing. She was colorblind anyway. And she did not blink an eyelash at her new caretaker's slightly smaller frame. All she cared about was her balanced daily feed of cottonseed and ground corn, and that she got an extra pat on the head. As I sat next to her polishing her white leather show halter, she appreciated my meticulous diligence and not my sex. When Missy and I won Best of Show a few months later, my father's heart nearly exploded. I learned to stick out my chest whenever I felt proud. While I then associated my conquest with being a better boy, I now realized what I was really working toward was being a better farmer. To read the full essay, check out the link in our description below. That's all for your friendly neighborhood college counselor. If you made it this far, comment in the comment section below what your favorite part of this Common App essay is. And do be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And before you go, the next time your remote stops working, try giving it 2 hard smacks on its back. That always works for me.